You're listening to the Akinfemi Onadele Show, where we believe in today's fast-paced world, investing in your overall well-being is the most important decision you can make. Join us alongside a variety of guests as we discuss topics empowering you to become the best version of yourself. Enjoy.
Let's be honest, parenting is expensive and many parents struggle to find the time and resources to provide enriching experiences for their kids. But what if there was a way to earn extra cash passively, allowing you to focus on what truly matters, your family's well-being? Becoming a short-let owner with Homely is a fantastic opportunity to generate passive income. By opening your homes, apartments to short-term guests on holidays, you can earn additional money effortlessly while helping other families enjoy a comfortable, homely environment. It's a perfect way to support your financial goals without sacrificing your time and energy. Imagine the possibilities: more funds for family vacations, extracurricular activities, or simply more freedom to enjoy life's little luxuries. Plus, you'll be part of a community that values well-being and shared experiences. Discover how much your home is worth and start earning passive income today at bookhomely.com. That's at bookhomely.com.
What other misconceptions would you say there are, especially in Nigeria, regarding mental health?
Okay, I think it has to do with not necessarily a misconception. Okay, it is because people assume that there's stigmatization for family, friends, neighbors. In fact, just the mere affiliation with a mad person puts you in a bad light. Even if they don't even know what is wrong with the person. Someone might just stand on the road and keep talking to themselves, and they're like, oh, you walk past that same road the next day and they say, oh, this is the sister of that person that was whispering on the road or that was throwing stones on the road. Now, everybody has known you with that. So most family, when you come to them that you have this difficulty, they have such a hard time allowing you to express yourself. They say, pray. Don't get me wrong, prayer is the ultimate. But we're praying because we feel like it's village people or witches and wizards or something. But that's why we're praying. You're not trying to sort the main issue. You're not talking to someone about it. You're not having a conversation. So you're just bottling everything up in you because you cannot actually communicate with anyone.
Yeah.
And there's also the financial limitation. It is not cheap. It does not come cheap at all.
But this isn't necessarily a misconception.
Yeah, no.
It's just an obstacle.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not cheap to get mental health. But isn't it cheap to maintain your mental health?
Yeah.
In terms of, because I'm just thinking about it. I don't know. I know I've had difficulties. Even just, there have been times, I remember like one of the times that sticks out to me was when I was at a job that I couldn't figure out what I was like. I felt lost.
Work stress.
And I was in a constant state of stress. And then one day, one of the higher ups in the office was like looking at me and she's like, what's wrong with you? You look very sad and everything. I said, I'm stressed. She said, you're not stressed. I said, but I feel so stressed. Like, I can't wait to get out of this place. Like, I'm stressed. But it's like, no, you're not stressed. So what is that feeling? What's that feeling I had in my mind that, and so at the time I wasn't doing things like meditation. I wasn't, I was probably exercising, but I didn't understand how much exercise played a role in balancing my feelings and my state of mind. Oh yeah, big time. And then I had not learned about a condition that I suffered from called ADD. It's like a form of ADHD. It was years later I kind of did a test and I saw that, okay, I don't have like all the chemicals in a normal brain. A lot of people suffer from it, to be honest, but they're not prescribed. They don't know. So it's like you need supplements and a certain lifestyle, of which exercise is very key to be balanced, But I just remember that time was such a challenge. But nobody, maybe apart from the time that lady had that question to ask, nobody else seemed to notice. So I think a key part of this new way of living, we're alive, we have God to thank for that. COVID came, took a lot of our loved ones, but we're still here. We have to increase our awareness. We need to, and this is some of the things, the habits and behaviors I push on this show. We need to connect with people. First, once we become aware of how we are doing, checking in with ourselves, like how am I doing mentally, right? How has that changed from last month to this month? We now need to increase it for socially to see, okay, both family, friends, is this guy okay? It's not just pressing our phones or just, we need to actually ask people how they are doing. And be observant. Yeah, how they're doing. Because even like, for instance, someone just fell sick in your family, even if he's feeling fine from the sickness, don't just assume everything's back to normal for him. You don't know what he went through mentally for that sickness. So it's that awareness of, wow, this mental is a real thing, and people are actually suffering in silence. This year, I know one person who committed suicide. Not a friend, but a friend's brother. And they never saw it coming, did they? No way. Everybody loved him. He's like the happiest, luckiest guy ever. If you see his videos on IG, this guy is the most lit guy, had the most friends, had a girlfriend, everything. But yeah, it just took a couple of days or maybe a week at the most, and he's not here anymore. Right? And it may just, sometimes you hear that it's like an illness. It's like a malaria of the mind sometimes, that particular one. You don't know the different ones, but maybe that one, and all of a sudden, he's paying more attention to a voice that doesn't care about him. A voice that doesn't care about anybody. A voice that, he starts, because of that switch to the negative side, that voice is just like, end it all, or something like that. And it's really mental illness. And this also affects children as well. And I think that's one of the most overlooked. You see a child children, for instance, are very happy people. You take a child to a park and you put that child among like 10 kids they have never seen before, and they will blend so easily, like they have known themselves all their lives. But if you have a child and you notice that your child is finding it difficult to adapt socially, little things that at that age the child should be able to know, it takes more time for them to learn that. You don't just categorize the child and say this child is dull. What if there's a problem? They are slow learners, fast learners, normal learners. You don't even know the category the child falls into. So how then can you offer help? So that's actually my childhood. I never understood why I was getting 3/70 in music. Yeah, there are other subjects where I get 70/70. And it's now understanding the ADD and all that, the different types. The first day I read it and I understood it and I heard someone talk about it in a video on YouTube, I cried. I was just like, oh wow, so I'm not so you can imagine how your life would have been if you had found out later. But we are still grateful that you found out. I'm grateful I found out. Yeah, but you know what, that's interesting. Even when I talk to people about it, Nigerians of course, they're like, oh come on, what's all this ADD? Nothing. They will just, when you go to the hospital, they say, they say, look, you know what your problem in this generation? You guys do too much drugs. Yeah. Or you know what your problem is? You guys you're just not focused. Once you find something to be focused about, you'll be fine. I'm like, really? Okay. Come to that drug aspect. I have. Okay. So that also happens with adults as well. I think people should be able to express how they feel, whether they feel sad, angry, happy, and after expressing it, they should be able to come out of that mode and come back to a neutral point. But people are not taught to express. That's one of the obstacles in Nigeria. You are taught to bottle it. So can we call this a misconception? Yes. A misconception is you shouldn't be expressing your feelings. Which you should. I don't understand this. You are a man. Man up and hold yourself. Men have emotions as well, so they should be able to express themselves if they are feeling in a certain type of way. Because once you keep bottling up everything you are feeling, it gets to a stage you can no longer take it anymore. Everything is still going to find an outlet. When you bottle it up, it's going to find an unfavorable outlet. It may be, have you ever lashed out at someone? Yeah, and and what you're lashing out about, the person just said, hey, you. And you scream, who is you? And in Yoruba, they say, Kilaju, Kilari. It is like, what did I throw? What am I getting back? The energy you give is never matched. And that's because you suppressed it. So you are reacting for something you should not be reacting towards. Yeah. Once I started, probably something I've been doing for the past 4 or 5 years. Once I started, there's this law I live by. Probably learned this from one of my personal development books. I can't remember the one, but whatever. And this is just how we function as human beings. Yes. Whatever is impressed has to be expressed. Whatever is impressed has to be expressed, whether you like it or not. So once I understood that whatever is impressed, usually, and it applies to emotions, it applies to feelings, whatever is impressed has to be expressed, then I just started finding healthy ways to express impressions. So if someone did something that pissed me off, when I was driving 30 minutes ago, someone did most nonsense driving for me. I won't just ignore it. Immediately I get on the phone with you or something, my best friend, I'm like, man, this is what this new
Yeah, that
just
actually
did.
helps. Someone you can always talk to.
You just release that.
Yes.
Because if not, it's going to just keep compounding negatively within you and you don't know how it's going to express. Because now, if I don't do that and I'm still driving 1 hour on the road, another guy tries to cut me or just someone walking on the road tries to cry. I mean, just try and use my car to bash him. But once I express it, it's gone.
And after reaction.
Yeah. So I think one of the things we can do as well is just, which is not going to be solved in this conversation, it needs to become a mainstream thing. Just as somebody has malaria, you can say, this guy has his mental illness. There's no that's the one thing we can do. The older generation, they've pocketed it so much. They say, I beg, go, our reputation. They don't want to. Yeah. Okay, who don't help?
I mean,
now somebody is dead, right? People are dying. But if we actually can bring it to the form, so these guys are having this, maybe say type 3 illness. Okay, we know what to do.
People who were previously expressive, all of a sudden you see them, they are no longer socializing the way they used to.
Yeah, it's not from the village.
Yeah, just to buttress what you said, I should be able to walk into the Yaba hospital and actually tell people that I just came out of the hospital. Which one? I just came out of the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital in Yaba. And not have people look at me in a certain type of way. I'm wondering what I went to do there. Because I mean, people go to the hospitals to carry out way risky surgical procedures and nobody bats an eye. So why should my visit to a psychiatric hospital raise eyebrows?
Yeah. And even like maybe another discussion that kids can start having, obviously under the right guidance, under the right, with teachers who understand this stuff, is even maintaining a healthy state of mind.
Yeah.
It's probably not, it's always when we were in school, nobody was talking about that. But there are things you can do to maintain a healthy state of mind, right? And even just understanding what a state of mind is, wherever your emotions and your thoughts are spending most of their time, create a state. It's a state, it's a rhythm, it's a kind of system. And that state can be changed. And if for some unfortunate reason, the thoughts and feelings spent too much time, a little bit more than normal on the negative side, to just compound into that negative state. That's kind of a very, very rudimentary way to explain what mental illness is. It happens.
Yes.
You were unconscious and you don't know. Somebody may have pissed you off at work. You didn't express it. You hold it. Something else happens. You are broke. You hold it. Something else happens. The guy you're talking to says, you know what? I don't want to talk to you again.
The last
1 day passes, 2 days passes, 3 days passes. Now you're in a state. An unfavorable state, but it's the state. Now, at that point, the state kind of is governing you, what you see, how you feel, and how you act.
Yes.
That's the simplest way I can sort of explain
That's it, basically.
I've got a question for you, my dear listener. And the question is, what are your gifts of COVID? What blessings came into your life as a result of COVID? We want to hear from you. So use the hashtag TAOS gifts of COVID. That is hashtag TAOS gifts of COVID to send us a message in our comments. We look forward to hearing from you. And thank you so much. It really means the world to us that you tapped in with us today. Thank you for liking, for sharing, and for subscribing. You are truly an everyday hero that's helping us to push the message of well-being out there. And until next time, peace and life's richest blessings.
Thanks for listening to the Akinfemi Onadele Show. Check out www.akinfemionadele.com for more articles and ideas.